All right. Whew, welcome to All Good Things in All Good Time, my YouTube channel. It's been a little busier recently than usual, inspiring me to do things like this. Make a show called Talking Story that includes other things, including a update, a fire update or whatever on my experience, what's going on, you know, through me, if you want to live vicariously. And then today I'm doing a fantasy football edition. I'm going to give you a few of my insights, my thoughts. You may have a draft today. Perhaps you'll enjoy those. Time to get a strategy or a strategy. So we'll talk about that. What else? Ooh, let's see. Got to use glasses now. Isn't that fun? I'm going to talk about. I'm about to. As soon as I get the stuff straightened out more with FEMA, Red Cross, unemployment, all the bureaucracy of disaster, of losing all your stuff, I'm gonna buy plane tickets, 2 or 3 days, 4 days, 5 days before we leave, and my kids and I are gonna fly out to see Grandma, and then we're gonna drive to see the other Grandma, and they're on 2 different sides of the country, and we're gonna go to really cool places. And so I'm gonna mention a few of those today, and some of the types of content that I'll be doing along the way. Yeah, and a few other things. Got a joke, got a story. So let's get into it. All right. Fire update. So seems like there's a lot less law enforcement around, still more than is pleasant. These guys posted up along the bypass, where keeping you from being able to just look down, at your own house. They won't even let you get near it. That's what's so frustrating. I called to see if I could just make an appointment or whatever, or just be allowed to go in. I mean, just make it strict rules. I'm only allowed to go to the place on my ID, and for no more than 5 minutes. That's fine. And I promise to adhere to those rules. And if you, it could be accomplished. Let us just go take a look and get a little closure. I'm pretty sure it was so hot that everything's just gone toast, but maybe there's a little pile of silver from my grandma's silverware, or maybe one thing didn't burn somewhere. Maybe her pearls somehow can survive a fire. I don't know. But what if my grandmother's pearls are there still? I don't know. Let me just take a look. That would be so nice. It's been 3.5 weeks. They just announced that they've picked up all the bodies. So it seems logical that now would be a good time to just let us take a look. And now they're gonna just start bulldozing things or something. Maybe before we can even get in there and take a look. Anyway, I threw my mountain bike out on the driveway, hoping that maybe it might survive. Is it still there? Can I take a look? Anyway, I hear drones might not work in the area. Maybe they've got drone disabling equipment. I don't know. I just don't know. But maybe I'll invest your money into my show, buy a drone, and try to fly it over there. And if I lose it, I'll apologize for wasting your money. No, but also, I got my trusty canoe paddle here. What I'm going to do is get a friend's stand-up board and sit down on it and just paddle it like a canoe out there. Bang, bang, bang. And I should be able to get up pretty close and get some views that others might not be able to get, or whatever. Get some idea. Maybe wear a mask out on the ocean. That'd be weird. But yeah, anyway, so those are some things that are going on. They're not checking us. Like, we had like a checkpoint coming to the west side. That seems to have dissipated, which was a little annoying, but I guess understandable. At the very beginning, it would have been understandable if they just let us through like that, but then they didn't. Anyway, yeah, let's see, what else? Support, still, I'm trying to work on, I've applied for a few things, but I still haven't figured out how I'm going to receive or whatever. I got to go back to the Red Cross. They've got some sort of disbursement that I hope to get, and some other organization I applied to, but so far I've just gotten $700, and I mean, a hotel room for now 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks for free, with 3 free meals a day on the beach in Kaanapali. I mean, if you gotta cry a lot, this is a pretty good place to do it. Yeah, and but that's still what goes on a lot. I seem to be, and I've had these 2 girlfriends, they're still just crying. They're a wreck still. I'm starting to come out of it. I'm not crying that much, not in the ways that I was. But still, you know, you'll be in public at a freaking store and just start crying. Oh, yeah, so what else? But then there's you guys who've been so supportive that I've been able to redisperse some of your money, like probably 5% of it, to all sorts of things. Tip 10 different people here that work here. Some of those were $20 tips. I've given 20s to people who were desperate for cash. Driven people around, bought people things that they needed, because I have a car. Just doing things like that. Anyway, and pretty soon, I mean, I've probably received, I think between GoFundMe, like $2,600, something like that, and Venmo, like more than $4,000, I think. That's pretty getting close to Blue Book on my car. And when I do get there, I think I'm just gonna rationalize giving my car to a guy. And it might be that guy Les that I interviewed most recently. So you saw me basically discovering that he needed a car, because I mean, and realizing he's a friend of friends of mine. Because I would like it to be somebody that if I don't know them, that one of my friends knows. You know, that would be enjoyable to do that. So anyway, that is thank you for all your support. That's what I'm trying to say, big time. What else? Upcoming trip. I'm gonna do all kinds of content that I can only do on the road. And it'll be interesting. I'm gonna try to interview anybody that'll let me, including both grandmas, any relatives, friends of mine, normal people. If I was to want to do a podcast, I would like to interview normal people. And Rodney Allen Rippey. I'd like to interview Rodney Allen Rippey. Anyway, so let's see. Oh, places I want to go and show you, like Bend, Oregon, and Ashland, Oregon, and the swimming holes in Chico, Bidwell Park, the Oregon coast, Boise. Interview my author friend who wrote that book, NorCal. It's on Amazon. NorCal by Sean Finnegan. Go interview him. Oh, and on Audible. Yeah. I want to go to the Smithsonian. That's where I want to take my kids, and maybe I'll make videos of the museum. And try to go slower than I did when I did videos at the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and I just went too quickly. So I'm learning by doing, you know. And I also invest in some kind of technology and ability. I have very little of both. So thanks for putting up with my low production quality. Let's see what else. all the different kinds of content. Like I'm gonna keep doing like beautiful scenes, you know, for like 30 minutes or whatever, maybe longer. Bliss. I'm gonna do America's Cool Dogs. Find some cool dogs. I'm gonna do rest stop reviews. I'm gonna do water quality tests. Attractions of various sorts, museums or whatever, parks or yeah, anything. I'm gonna do stand-up comedy potentially and video that and post it different places. If I go through Texas, I'll try to get on stage at Joe Rogan's place. If they have, I'm sure they gotta have an open mic night, so I'll work on that. And I'll do dispensary reviews. I'll do featured town squares, America's beautiful town squares, cool town squares, scenic overlooks. We'll keep doing this talking story business, okay? We'll do hotel reviews, because thanks to your money, I'm gonna be able to stay in hotels with my kids instead of sleeping in rest stops, which is what we're gonna do a little bit of. And I have a lot of friends to visit that we'll stay with, but I find there's this certain category I really like. It's not the cheapest category. It's just above that, where there's free breakfasts. And those are usually like 85 to 130 bucks a night. And those are cool, because I like those free breakfasts. You got to get up in time. All right. And then I'm going to start doing my own versions. Since the pandemic, you know, when we saw all those talk shows go into people's homes, you know, homes, and they did their business from like this, you know. Since there's a vacuum, there's no late night entertainment anymore. Maybe I'll start writing a monologue and start doing that, and then maybe add interviews to it if someday I can pull that off. And maybe I'll interview famous people too, but it won't be some of the people I see in all the freaking podcasts. Okay, what else? Let's see. I think that's most of all that. Okay. All right, so we're going to get into fantasy football. This is fantasy football edition. These are my insights. I've been studying since 6:30 in the morning. I've been up since 3. I wrote out lists and highlighted players. Got 2 cups of coffee here. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with my overall strategy here is to basically what I like to do is write out the lists that are the list the way the experts have them, right, in their rankings, and then highlight the ones I would like throughout that process. And in many cases, because there are so many names often that I don't even know, but then there are those that we know well from the past, right? And while they might be a little older, more dinged up, maybe not as good a shape, who knows, compared to most rookies and new guys in their roles. I just and then I like teams that put up points. That's always a good idea. And then of course, great players and quarterbacks often go together. So all right, so let's start with quarterbacks. So a lot of guys I'm just gonna skip over to try to, but there's guys I'd be super. There's so many good quarterbacks, and you really, I mean, my God, number 30th ranked is Kyler Murray. He could just be great. 28th is C.J. Stroud. It'd be fun to have either him or Bryce Young or some rookie or second year guy that's or some guy relatively new in his role that might break out, you know, and have a great year. Jimmy G is 27th. He's probably going to be solid. You know, he's only been a winner, and he's got some stuff to work with there. So I wouldn't mind him. And those guys are at the bottom. And then Derek Carr, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Kenny Pickett, all 19th to 23rd. I wouldn't mind any of those guys as a second guy for sure, you know. And who knows? Kenny Pickett, Matthew Stafford, they might be just good right away and all season. Jared Goff he's so close to having a great team there. he might just crush it this year. He was not bad last year. Aaron Rodgers is 16th. In previous years, he's been number 1. And he's got something to prove, I suspect. And so does that team. So, God, who knows what's possible there. And he's number 16, right? I don't feel comfortable necessarily with Geno Smith or Anthony Richardson. I have no idea who he is. Cousins has the best receiver in the league, right? And he always puts up more than 4,000 yards. And so he would be a great second if you were desperate as a first, if you skip quarterbacks early. And then some of these, people are going to go right away, and then a lot of people are going to be able to get to some of these guys later. Anyway, and then at the top, you got Mahomes and Hurts and Josh Allen. I think Jalen Hurts is the guy, man. If you could get him, he's worth having a first-round quarterback pick. Taking him, he's so hard to stop. I mean, my God. I know a lot of people like Lamar Jackson, but I'm gonna skip Lamar Jackson and love a Joe Burrow. Justin Fields is good. I wouldn't take him at 6, but I wouldn't mind him. Justin Herbert, I might take him 3rd best quarterback. I mean, he is just great. Trevor Lawrence is this close to being amazing. Deshaun Watson, no matter how you feel about him as a person, he's a damn good player. He could do some damage now that he's just being allowed to play. Hopefully he's, dealing with his propensities. But he's risky. I would take him like 2nd if he was valuable. And then D. Jones in New York. That team could be great. That guy will run it in. He's got talent, but I'd be nervous to take him number 1 unless I had to. And, of course, Tua's got some of the best 2 receivers, right? So, gotta love a little bit of Tua up there in the top. I figure Tua and above, number 1s. Kirk Cousins and below, number 2s. But I wouldn't mind taking Aaron Rodgers a lot earlier. I could put him ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Definitely ahead of Deshaun Watson. Anyway, so that's quarterbacks. And then I'm going to write a whole list like they have of all the players as they see them being plucked off the board. And then by doing that, and I'll check off all the ones with all my lists. I got lists of all the different categories, and then I'll have a master list. And as they go, I'll check them off. And then that way, when someone who was expected to go number 20th still hasn't been picked, and you're down at like the 40th or 50th pick, you'll see that. You'll see those values pop up. And that's when I'll take somebody I don't know. So, excuse me. Cheers. All right. There's just so few running backs. I'm going to go hard on running backs. Probably 3 of my first 5 picks will all be running backs. Boy, at 31, they got Dalvin Cook. Man, I love some of him. He's fine. And Pacheco at 30th, he's known and good. DeAndre Swift at 29, I wouldn't mind him. They got Jay Taylor at freaking 28. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'd be happy to have him. Kamara, they got him at 26th. Love to have him. And those are way down on their list. I doubt if those guys are going to really stay around that long. But above that, they got Dameon Pierce at 16. He was so good last year. Aaron Jones at 13. Najee Harris at 12. Those guys should be in the top 5. Joe Mixon, top 5. D. Henry, top 5. Jacobs, awesome, at 8. But they got Mixon at 10. Jacobs at 8. Henry at 7. Chubb at 6. All top 5s. In the top 5, you got C-Mac, who's going to be great, of course, and he's going to catch balls. Eckler, who's solid, and Saquon Barkley. Gotta love him. I don't even know who Bijan Robinson is. It's terrible. He's number 4. Tony Pollard at 5. He catches a lot of passes, so that's probably why he's there, but I wouldn't really have much confidence in him. I would not want him at all. This guy will skip happily. I do not know who Mondre Stevenson is in 9, so I'll skip him. Jahmyr Gibbs, I haven't followed him. He's in 11, I'll skip him. Travis Etienne Jr., I don't know. I wouldn't take him too soon, but I'd take him. And so on. Yeah, I mean, the rest of them are just okay to me. Oh, and yeah, so it's interesting how there's all these guys I kind of like down in the low 20s, and then just about 7 out of the top 16 that I like. So I'll be going for those guys and hard, and because it's just a weird bunch of guys. Like, a lot of them I just don't even know, or a team is, I don't know if they're going to put up many points, you know, like, we'll see. I don't want to talk dirt. Okay, here we go. Wide receivers. Gotta love Justin Jefferson. I have a baseball card, a football card of his. That is pretty sweet. That might be one of the best possessions that I saved from the fire, is my rookie Justin Jefferson, 1 of 100. Orange refractor, graded by HGA 9.5. Probably be a 10 in a PSA, and you know, it's probably got some real value. Maybe I'll sell it here and to an audience. Anyway, wide receivers: Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyrone Hill, Stephon Diggs. Gotta love all those guys. And CeeDee Lamb, I'm not taking him. Cooper Kupp, I'll take. Don't even know. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, but I'm sure he's good. A.J. Brown, take him in a heartbeat. Devontae Adams, hell yeah. Waddle, totally. Don't really know Olave. T. Higgins is good. I don't know if he's that good. Keenan Allen's solid. I love Metcalf. Debo, who doesn't love Debo? That guy's amazing. DeAndre Hopkins at 20 is crazy. Guy should be top 5. Duh. Oh my God. Christian Watson, gotta love him. He is pedigree. His dad was good, and he is just gonna break out this year probably. Gotta love Pickens, Tyler Lockett, Terry McLaurin at 27, Brandon Ayuk at 28. I love both those guys. Pittman Jr., great player at 32. Evans at 33. That's pretty low for him, I think, no matter who's throwing him the ball. Yeah, Brandon Cooks probably won't be bad. But I'm going to be going, man, that's going to be tough. I'm going to be trying to go back and forth between wide receivers and running backs, to tell you the truth. Looking for the best value. And then tight ends. We got, of course, Kelsey at the top. I'm going to skip Andrews and Hawkinson. I love Waller. Of course, Kittle should be a little higher. If they had more confidence in his quarterback, he'd probably be number 2. Dallas Goedert is looking good. Kyle Pitts is good. Evan Ingram, love all these guys. Njoku, Dalton Schultz, those guys will all be great first picks. Everett down at 16. Noah Fant in Seattle, 19. He's pretty solid. Taysom Hill at 21. I'd take him sooner than that. And same with Zach Ertz at 20. That guy's solid. And D. Knox in Buffalo. He's a ball catcher. And he and the quarterback have a great friendship. He's 23. Hunter Henry, solid at 24. And I don't know why he's not even on the board. There's 2 at Vegas. O.J. Howard's not even on the board. I waited on him. Nice guy. And I feel like he's going to be catching some of those Garoppolo balls. Anyway, I didn't bother to look at defenses or kickers, because that's always the last priority. Anyway, all right. So thank you for letting me indulge you in my thoughts on fantasy football. All right. And then I got a story for you. This is kind of funny. Um, so, years ago, I was cooking burgers for my kids and all the kids. I realized that you could go to your kids to Panda Express, and for 3 of you, it costs $30, roughly speaking, maybe 35. And for the same amount of money, I could get the resources together and cook food for 30 kids. And so that's what I decided to start doing. And when my kids got out of canoe practice, I would have burgers cooking for all the kids and some parents. And what I would do is put the ingredients that you might want on a burger in the burger, plus a few. It's kind of my own special recipe, I guess. But anyway, and then what you do is you just fill bags, you know, of your burger meat, however much you got. I would buy like 5 pounds of burger meat, and then add ingredients to that, so it would probably end up being like 6 pounds of stuff. And so there you have it. And then I would go to Safeway and get those dinner rolls, like 36 in a pack back then. I think they're 30 now in a pack, for like, you know, $6.99, $7.99, whatever it is. It's still relatively cheap, bringing the cost down on the buns. And then all you gotta do is pre-slice all those, right? Prep all those buns, not all the way through, just mostly, so that they can be opened up, right? And then and so what you do is you bring a spatula, your meat, and your buns to the beach, okay? No mess, nothing else, right? Everything is right there. You don't need any ketchup, mustard. You don't need plates. You don't need anything. You just need hungry people that want to walk up, grab a bun, open it up, and have a burger, right? I would do this every Thursday, I think, once, maybe twice a week. Nevertheless, I think I did it anyway. I did it once a week at least. And ultimately, the kids started calling these burgers magic burgers, which was pretty cool. That's a pretty great compliment. And if I mean, what a great business idea. I could just make those burgers, the simplest thing ever, just meat in a bun, and call the place Magic Burgers, you know, which was not my idea. So I'm at the beach, right? I'm cooking these magic burgers. Kids are walking up, grabbing a bun. I'm putting burgers on their things. Kids are playing and stuff. And this little girl, like a 3.5, 4-year-old girl, just tiny little thing. So funny. So she says, my boy is 10 years old at the time, my boy Noah, and she says, Noah's throwing rocks, and I'm like, oh. I said, oh man, you're not gonna believe it. He's got rocks in his head, I told her. And she said, and she looked at me, you know, believing what I said, like, oh, really? Of course, then I felt bad. I was like, right? So, I mean, what else did you say? No, so anyway, so I felt bad because I figured she would understand the joke, that I couldn't possibly be serious if I were saying that my son's head was full of rocks. So I apologized to her. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry. I was joking around. I said, I'm never serious. I'm always joking around because, you know, I identify as funny. So then she says to me, like without any hesitation, right? I say, I'm never serious. And she says, not even when you poop? That right there was one of the funniest moments I've ever experienced in my life. I almost fell on the ground laughing so hard. without hesitation. Like, she knew that the one time all people are serious, and I'm sorry, but this is a little bit of a forever joke. You might think about this when you poop. The one time, even if you're a comedian, even if you're joking around all the time, the one time we're all serious is when we're pooping. And that little girl knew that. And with no hesitation explained to me that that must be the one time. If I were to be serious, it would be then anyway. That was a conversation with the little 3.5, 4-year-old at the beach while I was cooking my magic burgers for all the kids at Kahana Canoe Club. What was that? 10 years ago. I'd be 2013, 2012. Anyway, one of those recipes that came out of necessity, and it became so fun because, you know, you just put all sorts of stuff into your meat, like almost like a meatloaf. Yeah. Oh, and then of course I cooked that over kiawe wood fire. That's worth mentioning, kiawe. So kiawe is mesquite wood grown in Hawaii. Okay, same plant. It's all along the beach. Has huge thorns. Of course, it grows pretty big here because it's got plenty of water and sun, and like it has everywhere. But it's not in the desert. Of course, that tree will grow anywhere. A tree that'll grow in the desert probably grow anywhere, and it thrives here. But it's interesting. You'll hear some people say, "Oh, it was brought here to make the locals put shoes on." But I'm pretty sure my grandmother, who was the president of the American Hereford Cattle Association in 1949, Helen Elizabeth Clay Pope Bradley Dowdell, she and her name has a story to it, but she explained that, and others have explained to me that, so the bean of the kiawe tree is a source of food for cattle. They love it. We can make molasses out of it. We can grind it into a flour. It's this new kind of flour it's not new because it's just kiawe. Anyone could have ground it up throughout history, but it's a type of flour that's also a superfood. It's gluten-free, and people are baking with it. You can buy it. You can find it probably online, kiawe flour. It's one of those exotic flours, but it's just a bean of a mesquite tree ground up. Also good cattle feed. So, and then of course mesquite wood is great to cook on, and then also you can grow it so easily. They would grow it and make a fence out of it to make a pasture for cows or horses or whatever they wanted to put in a pen. You can just literally grow kiawe in the form of a fence. So it had all these nice applications. You could grow it to corral your animals. You could cook on it, and then it produced feed. So that is mesquite or kiawe. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, kiawe wood, freaking magic burgers, gotta love them. All right. Gotten a lot of questions about whether or not, or if I do, and I just want to make it clear, I do love fish sticks. Okay, so let's cross that one out. And then Pennsylvania. If you don't know America, let me tell you about America here for a second. Pennsylvania is a little bit funny. So there's a joke. A lot of people in Pennsylvania don't know this joke, but it's quite rural in between the two big cities. And there's a joke. You got Pittsburgh on one side, Philadelphia on the other, and Alabama in the middle. Anyway, if you haven't heard that, that's a national joke. And then there's fireflies. Of course, I'd never seen those. When I got into the woods at night in Pennsylvania, there were fireflies. I thought I was hallucinating. That was fascinating. I mean, lightning bugs, and that's its own story. And then there's these funny named towns near Lancaster. Not Lancaster, it's Lancaster. And they are like intercourse, right? And you get to intercourse and they go, oh, do you know about all those other funny towns? And there's Blue Balls, Virginville, Bird in Hand, all these funny named towns in this little area. That's Amish country, right? But one of the funniest things to me traveling across Pennsylvania is because of like the old Dutch settlers or whatever. I think there's more lawn ornaments in southern Pennsylvania than anywhere else in the country. Like, and they got this one that's just this globe. It's this mirrored ball on a cone. And sometimes that's in the middle of the yard and everything's landscaped around it. But, you know, pink flamingos, garden gnomes, little guys holding the thing. Every kind of lawn ornament, statue you can imagine is everywhere in southern Pennsylvania, all across southern Pennsylvania that I traveled. Anyway, it's just kind of funny. Look for that when you go there. It's a little bit funny. And what's also fascinating is when you leave Philly, how quickly it goes from Philadelphia to horse and buggy. It's like just a few miles outside of town. Just immediate, just culture shock, kind of, you know, from one to the other. So that's funny, Pennsylvania, if you didn't know those things about Pennsylvania. Oh, and thank you so much for enduring. I was going to do a couple things. I need to start putting on this this darkening tanning lotion on half my body and see what the effects are. That should be interesting. And I'm not sure, but I think John Madden style, Kenny Stabler style, we did our best to put a little, zip it in there with a little mustard on it. All right, that's what we tried to do today. That's right. Remember to tip 20% or more. Be kind to yourself, which means, you know, don't drive drunk or gamble. And if you're inclined to do harm or crime, do less. Don't do nothing. Stay home and eat a lot of food and take a nap. You know, smoke some pot maybe, or drink a beer, or play a whole bunch of video games, or read a book. Hey, there's an idea. Unless you're afraid of books, unless you're one of those people that's banning or burning books, then stay away from books, because that will corrupt your mind, as you know, as they accuse Socrates of, you know, corrupting the minds of the youth. That's what those books will do to you. I read Catcher in the Rye. If you're wondering why I'm so screwed up, it's because they made me read Catcher in the Rye. That's why I'm all loony. Yeah. So, love you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. All good things and all good time, and supporting everybody that you're all supporting here in Maui. A lot of stuff's going all over the place, resources and money, and stuff that seems to be really counting is the stuff people are sending directly to people. I'm trying to get guys to get Venmo accounts. Don't have them, so that when I interview them, I can give you their Venmo, and maybe we can help out, you know, other people. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go into my draft here pretty soon, and I'm gonna interview definitely somebody there. The guy taking care of my other homeboys, who's another homeboy, Lauren Thomas. Anyway, love you guys. Aloha.